Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to LIRA in Law. Thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 and usually 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm broadcasting live, of course, from London, England. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. I am a solicitor of many years post-qualification experience. Actually, just on that, I just before we came on live nga, I looked myself up on the Solicitors Regulatory Authority website, the SRA website, and I know that in over the last few years, actually, I've always said, nearly 33 years post-qualification experience. In fact, I am nearly 34 years post-qualification experience. It beggars belief that I missed a year. I suppose it's a bit like getting old, no? You kind of lose a year here, a year there. Nga. But anyway, I looked myself up on the SRA, and from next week, which is the 17th of February, I had to note it down so I don't forget. Nga. From the 17th of February, I will have been qualified 34 years. I don't know where the time's gone. So I qualified on the 17th of February, 1992. Astonishing. I can't even believe I'm saying that. You know? So I have, so from next week, I will have clocked up 34 years post-qualification experience, which in addition to 4 years total studying, and of course the 2 years in those days, articles, nowadays called to become a trainee solicitor. So that's an additional 6 years in law. So from next week, that is the 17th of Feb, I will have been in law 40 years. And still having a great time. I am passionate about law, as I hope it comes across now, and I hope that our weekly sessions like tonight is helpful to you, and I hope that you find it our topic interesting. Speaking of our topic today is a big one. I mean, it's usually big topics, but it is to do with changes to indefinite leave to remain. There are, sometimes meron tayong mga sessions that I would say are probably potentially more important, for want of a better word, than other sessions. This is one of the important ones. So, and this one also that concerns a lot of people. As many of you would know, there have been changes or proposed changes to immigration law, specifically to do, many changes but also to do with indefinite leave to remain, so yung settlement and at the time, that was back in May last year, concerns were expressed about people who said, okay, nandito ako ngayon, I would be entitled to apply for indefinite leave to remain next year. Maabutan ba ako? Ano bang mangyayari? And so this is another step towards what is likely to happen. I have this as a topic because as of midnight tonight, the 12th of February, 2026, the consultation time for the changes to immigration that was published back in May, in the white paper, the consultation time will end at midnight tonight. So ibig sabihin, they will then, the Home Office will look at it, or the government will look at it. They will look at what they proposed in the way of changes. They will take into account, or hopefully they will take into account any comments that have been put forward by individuals, by bodies, any concerns that may have been raised. So the consultation period ends tonight at midnight. Okay, so from tomorrow, they will start gathering out information, and then they think that from about March, if not April, the changes, whatever they may be, will come into play. No? So, yun ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon. But because there are this a lot of changes are proposed to various provisions, immigration rules. Nga, we're going to concentrate nga tonight on the proposed changes to indefinite leave to remain. So kung meron kayong makilala, mag-indefinite na nga sila, o they think they're worried about the indefinite leave to remain settlement status nga, doesn't matter if they're here on skilled work route, or employment route, or spousal route, or students nga, share this program now with them, because it may be that it hopefully will make them feel a bit better, or if they're concerned nga, at least they can see, okay, what's the worst case scenario. So titingnan po natin nga ngayon is what are the rules presently to do with indefinite leave to remain for the different categories. So skilled worker, global talent, family life, long residence. So all of so those categories, titignan nga natin, what do you need to show in order to be able to apply and succeed with your application for indefinite leave to remain? That I'm talking about the time scale, rather than other things. Because as you know, if you're applying to stay in the UK for indefinitely as a spouse, meron kayong mga conditions. But we're going to concentrate on the time that you need to show, the period of time you need to show in order to qualify for settlement nga. Yun ang una. But of course, we're not going to stop there. We're also going to look at what is proposed by the government, and this is on the Home Office website. What's proposed by the government, the changes proposed now by the government. So what would happen, say, if you are here nga under the skilled work route and the change comes into play? What additional, if any, time that's going to be imposed? If you're here on a spousal route, what additional time may be imposed? Or if you're here, or in some cases, it's actually less time than the 5 years usual time that you need to be able to show, because it's not always 5 years, it can be sometimes more than that. So it's this will hopefully, at least as a starting point, anong kailangan yung pakita. Now, we're also going to talk about transitional provisions. So hindi nga lang mga taong papasok nga dito, but also the people who are already here, which probably is the most worried, because they're already here. Actually, a few weeks ago, meron tayong viewers sabi niyo, what's the point? Maybe better to look at other places, because she felt unwelcomed because of these proposed changes. So titingnan po natin ngayon. So as I said, this is quite a big topic, and because the consultation ends tonight at midnight, I thought it would be good to discuss nga, what are the current rules, what are the proposed changes nga, and then discuss with what happens now, what's the next step. So it's a big one. Now, of course, on top of that, meron tayong mga questions. Again, great questions, and thank you very much. We will deal with those, of course. But as I say, itong topic po natin ngayon, it's earned settlement. That's really what they call it. Consultation. Yeah, that's as you see on the screen. Consultation to indefinite leave to remain changes ends today, 12th of February. What are the proposed changes? So if you're here, you're looking at indefinite leave to remain sometime in the future. Is it likely to be changed? Yun pag-uusapan po natin ngayon. So it's a big topic, and share this link nga to friends, family who you think may be affected by the changes. And frankly, I hope a whole load of people will probably be affected. So this is something we will keep monitoring, obviously, for our program, because we want to ensure that people are up to date. And lots, dami din mga chismis, no? No, wala na, no? It's wala nang indefinite, hindi na kayo magiging definite dito. So I've heard that also. That's not the case. But there certainly are changes. And as I say, with the few people, it's a good change, because rather than 5 years, it could be less. So I'm going to also take you through, for want of a better word, their formula. No, how are they going to apply it? So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting topic. Well, it is an interesting topic. It's something also that I've been working on for a little while now. So titingnan nga natin. And I'm also going to put on you will also see, I'll take you through 3 tables. No, the now, what attributes could lessen, no, the baseline, and what attributes could increase the baseline. The baseline being 10 years. Okay, so it's a big topic. Now, anyway, so we're going to take a quick break. Saglit nga lang po. And then we're going to launch into our topic. So I hope that you'll be able to join me shortly. Sandali lang po. Okay? Saglit lang. Welcome back. Welcome back to LIRA in Law. My age is showing. I can't say, I'm getting my words all mixed up. But anyway, my apologies. So, welcome to LIRA in Law. Topic po natin ngayon, without further ado, is yung consultation, indefinite leave to remain changes, ends today at midnight, 12th of February. And so what are the proposed changes? No, it's a big topic. So sharing is caring, and certainly this is one that may well be very interesting to an awful lot of people. So now, so unang-una nga, route to indefinite leave to remain. So I think in order to make sense of the proposed changes nga, it's probably good to see, well, what are the current rules, and then how is that going to change? Okay, now, and if you want to really read up on this nga, it's go on the Home Office website. I'll see if I try and remember to post the link, and therein are these proposed changes, and a lot more, in fact. But we're focusing on the indefinite leave to remain, changes to indefinite leave to remain, settlement status in the UK. So kung nandito nga kayo, nag-aalala kayo, makakakuha pa rin ba kayo ng indefinite leave to remain? Yung pamilya nyo nga, o papasok pa nga lang kayo dito, anong mangyayari pagka nandito na kayo on a spouse visa. So this is the first, well, I suppose the second step, because the first step was they published nga in May the white paper. So therein sabi na, okay, these are the things we're going to do. This is a bit more, no? So they're actually saying, okay, how is this going to work? And in publishing this, they have invited people to make their views known. And the consultation, as I've said, is ending today at midnight. So we're going to look at that. So let me take you through the table. No, I prepared 3, and this is very much from the Home Office website. No? So let me take you through the first table. This I've colored the top in red. This is the route to ILR. My short, obviously, for indefinite leave to remain. Let me just see if I can bring it up again. Sorry, it's gone. Okay, yeah, okay. So route to indefinite leave to remain as of today's date. Okay, as of today's date. Yung table 1 nga, no? So let me just take you through some of the categories nga doon. Now, So you'll see presently the routes are skilled worker, no? Kung nandito kayo as a, let's say as a carer, no? Or a nurse or a teacher, normally it's 5 years. Kailangan pakita. So I've said there, time in the UK prior to settlement in years 5. No? This from the Home Office website. Continued residence, yes. So I put X where you need to satisfy that factor, no? Or rather the Home Office did. So, so you need to be able to show continued residence in the United Kingdom, a minimum of 5 years, skilled worker nga. Once you've satisfied that, normally, you can then apply for indefinite leave to remain. Yun ang una. Okay, so I've listed there various categories. You know, Tier 2, Minister of Religion, representative of an overseas business, UK ancestry, all of those things. You know, global talent, as you can see there, 3 to 5 years. Nga, 3 could be as little as 3 years. It could be as much as 5 years. So all of those things. Private life, no, I have a few of those. Adult, 10 years ang kailangan yung pakita. Family life, partner or parent, depending on, of course, if you had leave to remain to begin with, to applying it's anything between 5 years to 10 years. So if you enter the United Kingdom as a spouse, for example, normally it's 5 years, which is divided up in two tranches of 2.5 years. No. So there's also the long residence requirement, which is private life. Again, I have a few of those. You need to be able to show a continuous leave to remain, a totaling to 10 years, no? And for these types of applications nga, under the long residence, pwede nyo idugtong nga, no? So kung pumasok kayo dito as skilled worker, tapos pinalitan nyo as a spouse, tapos pinalitan nyo something else, kung ang total nga under the long residence is 10 years, you could usually apply for indefinite leave to remain when you reach 10 years. Now, there's the discretionary leave to remain. You don't have many of those nowadays, but still that's 10 years. Now, victims of domestic abuse, you can apply immediately. If you're able to show that, then you get indefinite leave to remain immediately. Okay. Again, same for bereaved parents, for example. Children of settled parents, UK born, resided for 7 years, immediate or 7 years. So let me give you an example. So all those things at the moment, all those categories at the moment, the government have said we're looking to change them, but with some, no change really. Even though the basis, no, the baseline rather for indefinite leave to remain will change, but really, practically speaking, there's no real change. With some, actually, it's advantageous, especially those who are earning more money. Now, at the same time, for some, it is going to be massively changed, but for the worse. We're going to go through that as well. That will be table 3. So let me take you through table 2. Okay? So nakita nyo na, itong patas nga ngayon. Yun, no? Now, let me take you through table 2. So that I've marked in green. Now, the proposed changes to indefinite leave to remain baseline, so the starting point is 10 years, okay? But this can be adjusted, basically, and those are my words rather than the Home Office, depending on certain attributes. So pwedeng tumaas, pwedeng bumaba. Baseline, though, is 10 years. Depends really on attributes. So so you can see there, and do make a note now, considerations that will decrease the baseline qualifying period. I've noted those. Now, note only one of the listed considerations, i.e. the one that causes the largest increase, would be applied in the case of any single application. I'll take you through that in a moment because it's a little bit confusing. This will take precedence over any reduction to the baseline. So basically, pwede nyo lang gamitin one of the, if you like, the attributes. You can't add, say, integration, you deduct -1 to the 10 years, and then contribution -7. You choose one, okay? And obviously you would choose the biggest one because you want to lessen the time from 10 years, yeah? So let me just take you through that. Let's apply it, yeah? So tingnan natin. For example, skilled worker. No, this is a big concern, I know, for a lot of skilled workers. As I say, nurses, carers nga, teachers. No, kung nandito kayo, ang visa nyo nga under the skilled worker route. At the moment, 5 years. But if the government actually implement these changes, let's have a look at that. No, so sabihin natin nandito kayo as a nurse, right? So if you look at table 2, kind of midway down, makikita nyo doon, contribution, applicant has been employed in a specified public service occupation for 5 years. No? So sabihin natin nurse kayo, dumating nga kayo dito, you are nearly 5 years nga. So if this changes according to the government, the starting point is 10 years. But because you're a nurse, sabi nila, pwede nyo ikaltas, you can decrease it because you are in a specified public service occupation for 5 years. So minus 5 years, you can see the adjustment to the baseline qualifying period. And again, this is from the Home Office nga. So sabihin natin nurse kayo. So ibig sabihin, if you're a nurse, you deduct 5 years from the baseline of 10 years nga. So kailangan nyo pakita, total, 5 years. So it doesn't really change, from before. Yeah. Now, it's, if you look at, say, some attributes. So sabihin natin, let me have a look here. All right. Go up a few. So if you have a look at the second box nga, no? Applicant has earned a taxable income of £125,140 for 3 years immediately prior to applying for settlement. Big amount, £125,140 spanning for the 3 years immediately prior to applying for settlement. If that's your income nga, there are other things na kailangan yung tingnan, kailangan yung pakita nga. But if that is your income, subject to other to the other factors being complied with, then you can deduct according to the Home Office table nga 7 years. So at the moment, that may well be, let's say, it's global talent or skilled worker, okay? Because they don't actually specify it has to be a certain kind of job. It could be also your spouse, but you are you're high earning, So so if you are earning that amount, you earned that amount over the last 3 years, let's say spouse visa nga kayo, on the face of it, you can deduct 3 years. So rather than having to show, say, currently 5 years, or even later on still 5 years because you're a spouse nga, you actually would be, according to them, if you are a high earner, you would be able to deduct 7 years from the baseline, which means rather than showing 5 years, you would need to show 3 years. Okay, interesting, huh? But they're obviously focusing on people who are high earners. Now, let's say you are earning but kalahati nga, a bit less na. Sabihin natin 50,000. So after that, you can see in that table, so applicant has earned taxable income of £50,270 for 3 years immediately prior to applying for settlement. So sabihin natin, you're here as, again, under tier 2. So you can deduct 5 years, which means you're in the same boat. If you're here on the skilled worker route nga, that means that you still need to show 5 years, but as I say, 50,000 kailangan pakita. So it is, it benefits some, especially those who have special skills, and those who earn quite a bit of money. 125,000. Actually, in London, it's probably not unusual for some, or for a few. Okay, £125,140. So it's actually, for some, especially those who are here and who are earning quite well, it is a positive because they need to show a bit less. Now, So the same thing. So for those people who are here on the as global talent worker or innovator, founder, minus 7 years. Okay, so again, they're 3 years under global talent. I mean, at the moment, it's anything between 3 to 5 years the money. So it doesn't. They're clearly looking. They're clearly saying, okay, if you're earning a lot of money or you have special skills, we're actually going to potentially lessen the amount of time you need to show in order to succeed with indefinite leave to remain. And for some who are, say, nurses nga, or carers, let's say, I don't know if carers actually would be considered, a specified public service. They should be, but nurses certainly are going to be. That's actually given us an example nga. So there, it probably will not make any difference. So it would still be 5 years. So kung nag-aalala nga kayo, nandito kayo, nag-aalala kayo, baka dagdagan nga nila, hindi it would then be not 5 years, but rather, nabalitaan ko din, someone was saying, 15 years. I don't really know where they're getting the 15 years from, but anyway, so as a starting point, baseline has 10 years. So it's it may be that for a fair amount of people who are here nga, either properly working or came in as a spouse quite properly nga din, or are earning money, it may be that either makes no difference, or it could be that it's a bit less. Okay? So it's difficult to say at the moment nga kung anong gagawin nga nila. Also, the what they call transitional provisions has not been published yet. I mean, I think we'll probably hear about that in March, once they've had the time to consider the gone on with the consultation. So it's difficult to say whether all of this will be implemented. I suspect a big chunk will be implemented. I would guess, because I think it's probably, I mean, politically, that's probably where they want to go also. But what I'm getting at is, for a big part of it could be that it doesn't make any difference now. Who are, if you like, the losers in this, or proposed losers now? Who will be affected negatively? Let's have a look at that also. Okay, so I've kind of given you some good news, if not. Maybe it doesn't make any difference to you, or it could even be that it's a positive thing, the change, subject of course to what they say in relation to people who are already here and whether transitional provisions will apply. So are they gonna, kung nandito na kayo, transitional provisions is simply legal speak with that means yung bang lumang batas ang titignan nga nila, o yung panibago ba, they haven't actually said if there are transitional provisions, or if it is coming to play in April, whether it's applicable from April to everyone. Difficult to say, but let's have a look at those people who will likely be, if this is implemented, who will be negatively affected. So let me just show you table 3. So sandali nga, tingnan ko nga ito. So this also concerns, of course, people who are here, either entered the UK illegally or have overstayed. So let me just see if I can find table 3, because I've now, let me just have a look. Let me see. Sandali. Table 3. Okay. Now, ito, right? So I've noted in purple the top bit. So makita niyo dyan, proposed changes to ILR, indefinite leave to remain. A baseline will be 10 years, but this can be adjusted if the applicant satisfies certain attributes. Now, table 3. This are more, if you like, what would lead them to increase rather than decrease. So let me just take you through that. So considerations that will increase the baseline qualifying period, so the 10 years, so more than 10 years, okay, would be as follows. And again, only one if you like, attribute can be applied. So it's not that, okay, you get money, you got money from the government and you also entered illegally. So rather than 20 years, it becomes 25 years. No, they will apply the highest one, but they will only apply one. So let me take you through that. So nandito kayo, no? Applicant has been in receipt of public funds, so money from the government nga, for less than 12 months during route to settlement. So sabihin natin, you're here on a spousal visa, no? I mean, you shouldn't be getting money from the government if you're on a spouse visa. Anyway, but sabihin natin you're getting money from the government nga. Now, sabi nila dito, if you've been getting public funds for less than 12 months, they will add 5 years. So that means that the baseline is 10 years. They will add 5 years, 15 years. Okay? That would be the issue. And this you will see, this will take precedence over any reduction to the baseline. So this is what they will apply first. So it's not that it kind of cancel each other out. Ito muna titingnan nila. Now, if you've been in receipt of public funds for more than 12 months, no, during route to settlement, they add 10 years. So rather than 10 years, you add another 10 years. So that's 20 years. Yeah. If you're getting more, if you get receiving public funds for more than say 12 months. No? Now, entry and residence, right? Applicant arrived in the UK illegally. So sabihin natin, you came via a boat, no? Small boat or lorry, that sort of thing. And what do they say? They add 20 years. 20 years to the baseline being 10 years, which means it's 30 years. 30 years. Okay? Now, it is going to concern a fair few people. Actually, I know a few people who may well be concerned with this. Then let me take you through the rest. No, applicant entered the UK on a visit visa. Sabihin natin, visit visa kayo dito, tapos paso na yung visa nyo, you overstayed, and then you entered you then regularized it either as under partner route or kaya parent route, So you became an overstayer having entered the UK with a visit visa. At the moment, the proposal is they will add also 20 years. So the baseline being 10 years, they then add 20 years. So that's 30 years. At the moment, it seems that's what's proposed. And then entry and residence, applicant has overstayed a permission for 6 months or more. No, again, 20 years. No? So those of you, those who entered the UK, sabihin natin pumasok kayo dito, estudyante nga kayong pumasok, tapos napasong nga ang visa nyo, you overstayed for more than 6 months. At the moment, they say plus 20 years on top. So as much as it can decrease from 10 years being the baseline, it can also increase 10 years being the baseline. And you will see, they're looking at people who entered the UK illegally, or those who overstayed, or those people who are getting benefits for either less than 12 months or more than 12 months. So you can see where they're coming from. So that, obviously, they're huge numbers. So at the moment, if you go back to table 1, you under say discretionary leave to remain, or indeed discretionary leave to remain ang visa nyo, you can see there is 10 years. And sometimes it's because you entered the UK, wala napasok ang visa. So at the moment, rather than 10 years, they're saying plus 20 years. So to get to indefinite leave to remain, it would be plus 20 years. Yeah? Now, and they've said there, this will take precedence over any reduction to the baseline. Now, so this will concern quite a few people nga, no? So kung meron kayong background, immigration background nga. It's unclear though, what other issues would they take into account. So for example, sabihin natin, nandito kayo, but then you actually decide you're going back and sabihin natin, babalik kayo sa atin, babalik nga kayo dito quite properly as a spouse. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung background nyo ba, which one do they apply? Because you have an immigration background. Does that mean because you left the country, you're coming back in? Na yung essentially is the spousal route, so it's effectively 5 years, or because you have an immigration background, does that mean it's 20 years now because of the immigration background? It's difficult to say. That will need to be that will need to be dealt with, provided with more details nga. So lots of things are still nga outstanding, including yung mga tao nandito na, are they going to get leave to remain under the under transitional provisions? So different law will apply, or the old law will apply because they're already in the UK. Is this going to only apply to those who are coming into the United Kingdom or are now making applications on something else? Nandito na nga sila. So it's difficult at the moment to provide you with any certainty. Anong ibig sabihin nito? As regards people who are already here, because there's nothing at the moment, nothing certain, no, as regards transitional provisions. So what I say to you would be guessing, really. Is it going to, how is it going to affect people who are already here? I mean, I suspect it will probably, and this very much is just my suspicion is, I suspect they will say that it will apply now, no, rather than a transitional provisions, because they will probably want to make it clear, no, politically nga, that they're being tough on immigration, and it's to deter, if you like, no, people now breaching immigration conditions. But yung nga, that is my suspicion. We'll find out soon enough. I suspect nga na we'll get I hope at least, no, we get more details about this between now and March. At the moment, when I'm reading around nga, they think it may be implemented as early as April. Tingnan natin, no? Now, for those of you nga who can apply now, ang payo ko, apply now. Okay? Because it's, unless you are in the categories of, you're earning quite a bit, or you have certain skills, like so you're within the global talent nga, unless you're in those categories nga, it probably is more either it doesn't really make any difference, or it's negative potentially, especially kung nandito nga kayo, you're here on a discretionary leave to remain, you have an immigration background. Ang payo ko, if you can apply, do it now. Okay. Same goes for citizenship, no? So you got indefinite leave to remain, and you're making an application now for naturalization to become British. We obviously that's not what we're dealing with today. But again, if you can make an application now for naturalization, payo ko, you should do that. Do not delay. No. If the only thing that's stopping you from making the application is the Life in the UK test, which is quite difficult, no. Try your best. I know it's difficult, and it's the sometimes try as you might, no, it's quite difficult because it's a different way of thinking. But if you can, as I say, I would urge you to make the application. No? So I hope that's helpful to you. I know it's going to worry some people, but I hope it also shows that with some people it doesn't make any difference. Okay, gaano mag-alala, because they've already said okay, it's 10 years the baseline, but you deduct 5 years because you entered the United Kingdom as a spouse, which means it doesn't make any difference. It's still 5 years. So kung meron kayong mga kilala, mga kamag-anak nga, kaibigan, that you think, they're worried about this indefinite leave to remain, point them to our direction nga, and hopefully this makes them feel a bit better. And if it doesn't make them feel better because they're on the other side, likely to be increased, then at least alam nila, okay, if I can, make every effort nga, I will keep you informed as much as I can about these changes, because obviously it's of concern to an awful lot of people. And this will likely happen in the next few months. So February na po tayo ngayon, So March, we'll probably hear something in March, probably a few more details, including when it's likely to be put into play. I know they're quite keen to put in play soon. So it could be as soon as April, which means what? That's a couple of months. Wow, a couple of months. Anyway, I hope that's of help and that's of interest to you. As I say, sharing is caring. So by all means, share. Now, let me just see if we can deal with the questions before we say the bati, because there are fair few questions. Again, big topics, pag-usapan natin. So let me have a look at the questions nga, yung questions natin. So yung una natin mga questions, let me just have a look. Let me see if I can bring it up. So, okay. So ito po. So, sabi ng kababayan natin, hi, kapag umabot ng April, okay, at wala pa din desisyon ng Home Office sa visa renewal ko, overstayer na po ba kami, nung pamilya ko din, TNT, tago ng tago. So that's just, unless you're Filipino, you don't know what TNT is. I think, okay, you can of course you can know it even if you're not Filipino. Pero sa atin uso ang TNT, tago ng tago. TNT na po ba kami? Until April na lang po kasi yung pahintulot para manatili kami dito. Dapat po bang umuwi kami ng March? Now, so let's just unpack that. So, kapag umabot ng April, wala pa rin desisyon ng Home Office sa visa renewal ko, overstayer na po ba kami? No is the answer. Well, probably not is the answer. Now, ito, kung meron kayong visa, sabihin natin nandito kayo as a spouse, right? Or indeed as a skilled worker, So, meron kayong visa, nagpasok na kayong application. Nagpasok kayong application bago natapos ang visa nyo. Yung nga lang, mabagal ang Home Office. And sometimes they are, So, so hindi pa tapos yung application nyo. So, sabihin natin, yung sabi mo nga dito, April, Nagpasok na yung application ngayon, February tayo. Actually, maybe we just submitted even earlier than that. So, sabihin natin, pasok na yung application, pero matatapos ang visa nyo 1st of April. Wala pa rin desisyon nga yung Home Office. So, ano mangyayari after the 1st of April, after the visa expires? Wala na ba kayong visa? TNT na ba kayo? Overstay na ba kayo dito? Kailangan nyo ba umuwi? The answer is no. So, there's something called 3C leave to remain. It's Immigration Rules 3C. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kung meron kayong visa, nagpasok kayo ng application, yung visa nyo, you're not considered, that it's extended, it's not right really, but you're not overstayers. So 3C leave to remain means that you're not overstayers, the same conditions apply, and until the Home Office deals with the application, by that I mean concludes the application. So kung nandito kayo as skilled worker, tapos nagpasok kayo ng application, o spouse visa kayo, nagpasok kayo ng application, hindi pa rin tapos, pero pasok na yung visa nyo, pero hindi pa tapos yung application. Your visa just continues, if you like, your conditions remain. Huwag nga lang kayong lalabas. Dahil kung lumabas kayo, ibig sabihin, you have abandoned your application. So huwag kayong lalabas. But the same conditions apply. So kung spouse visa kayo, nagtatrabaho nga kayo dito, same thing. Kung nag-aaral kayo dito, same thing. So it is the conditions that you had simply continues. You don't also get additional benefit, even though you are making an application for something that's perhaps a bit that gives you more benefits in the UK. By that, I mean ability to work. So sabihin natin, visa kayo ngayon. No? Tapos, bago napasok yung visa nyo, nagpasok yung application for whatever reason. I'm not saying this is not something necessarily a good thing to do, but nagpasok yung application for spouse visa. Right? Now, hindi po ibig sabihin na dahil yung spouse visa, kung makuha niyo yung spouse visa, pwede kayong magtrabaho dito. No? Hindi po ibig sabihin na pwede kayong magtrabaho just because you made the application. The conditions that will continue would be the visit visa. Ibig pong sabihin, kung hindi kayo pwede magtrabaho and under visit visa, generally you're not allowed to, no? Hindi pa rin kayo pwede magtrabaho kahit papalitan nyo na. So going back to our viewer nga, so sabi mo dito, wala pang decision nga yung home office, pero matatapos na nga ang visa. No, you should, the same condition should apply, and under 3C leave to remain, yung pa rin dire-diretso pa rin yung the same condition. So wag kayong uuwi. Kung uuwi kayo, ibig sabihin they will treat your application as withdrawn. So the same conditions apply. Right? It's actually a question I get quite a lot. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Now, meron pa tayong mga questions, I am sure. So sandali nga lang, let me have a look. Okay, so itong viewer natin sabi, for visit visa ng parents, ano pong ninapakita sa immigration sa Pilipinas, okay? At pagdating sa UK o mga requirements na dapat dalhin. I tried to search in the page po, pero wala akong makita. Well, I'm not surprised. Kung any kind of any visa, it doesn't matter kung anong category nga, no, parents o kaya no children, ganon. Application for visit visas, there are certain things na gusto kailangan yung pakita. And the main thing really is to if you like, convince the home office na babalik sila, no, that they're not going to breach the immigration condition. They don't actually say that particularly, no, not in so many words in the rules, but that's really my view is, no, whenever I make applications for my clients nga, yun ang una kong tinitingnan. What documents can I show? What information can I provide the home office to assure them that my client will be returning, no? So mga kulang mo, visa for the parents. So they may be retired already. So saan nanggagaling pera nila? No? Ikaw ba nagpapadala? Okay. Meron ba silang income sa atin? No? Meron ba silang bahay sa atin? No? Meron ba silang lupa? May negosyo ba sila sa atin? So kailangan yung pakita nga na yung sinusustento mo sila, if that's the case, that they have to be, but they have their own income. Why would they overstay? No? Good life is good. Why would they do that? Meron silang bahay. So if life is good, meron silang bahay, meron silang mga tumutulong sa kanila sa atin, either nga katulong o kaya mga family, no? So wala ang problema. They're just coming to celebrate a birthday, your birthday, their birthday, for example, or anniversary. So yun ang pinaka-importante. It's for you to say that this is the plan, no? Kung ako kayo, with all visa applications, well, most visa applications, I would say 99% of visa applications I prepare a statement, usually from the applicant, and also, if you like, the sponsor or whoever's they're going to stay with pagka nandito na sila. So yung magulang mo, they may want to prepare a statement. By that, I mean, parang affidavit. Sasabihin mo doon, saan sila nakatira, anong pangalan nila, anong edad nila, saan sila nakatira, where do they get their income, what investments do they have, why are they coming to the UK, maybe, as I say, to celebrate some kind of anniversary. Ikaw nga din, a statement from you to say, ito gusto ko nilang kunin nga dito, they're only gonna stay 4 weeks, dahil wala akong time na umuwi nga sa atin, I would like to simply show them nga the UK, ganoon, no? So it's for you to explain why are they looking to come to the UK. Now, on top of that, kailangan yung pakita, meron silang pera, okay? O meron kang pera nga dito. So where are they gonna stay? Who's gonna support them? Okay? Kung meron silang pera sa atin and meron kang pera dito, show them both, no? add it to the documents nga to be uploaded. Of course, kailangan nilang passport, no? Current passport nga. You need to also be able to show that. Accommodation also. So all those things. You don't need a TB certificate because they're staying for likely less than 6 months nga. So all those things, kailangan yung pakita, no? I-upload nga sa home office. Pagka nandito na sila, so sabihin natin nakakuha sila ng visa, tatatakan yung passport nila, may visa sila. Usually it's 6 months. You can apply for longer visit visa, but you can only stay in the UK for the 180 days at any one time. But most of the time, mga kalayante ko, they apply for 6-month visa. Sabihin natin, nandito siya, no? Nandito, nakakuha sila ng visa, they're staying just for a month, let's say, or indeed even 6 months, no? Anong kailangan nilang dalhin? Sabi mo dito, pagka nandito na sila sa UK, they just need their passport. And ang tip ko, just because it makes life a little bit easier, they should print out, they should have it on their phone anyway, but they should certainly print out yung details mo. Dahil pagka nandun na sila sa airport nga, so sabihin ng immigration officer as well, where you're gonna stay and all of that, no? Can we get confirmation from your child, your daughter or son nga, nandun yung telephone number mo, no? So kung gusto ko niyang tawagan, especially kung nasa labas ka na, no? If you're at Heathrow, you're just waiting at the arrivals, no? Section nga, they can just call you, okay? So have that printed separately, just in case there's an issue with the phone, the batteries run out because it's a 13-hour flight from the Philippines here. So it's a tip really that I have. Okay, for you. So yun. So, but otherwise, yun lang kailangan nila, their passport. Then everything else has been uploaded. The immigration officer at the airport is not going to go through it again. They may ask, why you're coming in, and they will see also anyway why you're coming in. So, sabihin nga lang nila yung totoo, no? They're coming to visit you, ganon. Okay? So that's essentially that's what they would need. Good luck. I hope they have a great time. No, I hope they're not coming until when it's warmer. Napakalamig nga ngayon. Well, hindi naman gano'ng malamig na gano'n, no? Di ba? It's a bit, dahil laging umuulan at the moment. Okay, well, we do need, of course, water. We need rain. So I shouldn't moan too much. But nevertheless, it has been raining a lot, no? Hindi na gano'ng malamig. But anyway, we have a few more questions. So let me just see if I can go through that. So, okay, question natin to. My mom came here on a visit visa. According to her passport, her visa is valid from the 8th of August 2025 until 8th of February 2026. That makes sense because that's 6 months. I booked her ticket on the 8th of September and she arrived on the 10th of September. Her return ticket is scheduled for the 22nd of February 2026, 22nd of February, so 2 weeks after the expiry nga. Ma-overstay na po ba siya if we follow the return ticket on the 22nd of February, or do I really need to book an earlier flight before the 8th of Feb? Medyo mahal kasi kung mag-change ng flight. Ano po kayang magandang gawin? Should I book another return ticket instead? Absolutely, you should book another return ticket. No, you don't want to create unnecessary immigration background, and that may be a problem. That will be, not just maybe, that will be a problem next time you want to apply for a visit visa, because it's 6 months is exactly that. It's 6 months. So August 8 to February 8. Rebook. Don't cause yourself and your mother problems. Rebook. I know it's going to cost more money, but it is worth it, truly. Better that than getting a refusal next time. Okay, and creating a record for immigration background for your mother. She's not going to be happy about that. And we know Filipino mothers can be quite tough. Okay, so next question, guys. I have a question regarding a visa application. My partner is British and will be starting a new job soon. He was outside the UK for some time, which is why he cannot provide more payslips at the moment. For the visa application, we will initially only have 3 or 4 payslips. I'm assuming that means 3 to 4 months, no? Along with his savings, which are currently less than 88,500. There's a reason why that's the amount, no? And that's sabi nga niya. His new job has an annual salary of £60,000, which meets the financial requirement for fiancé visa. However, his savings are slightly below 88,500 because he traveled for a total of 2 years. I read that some applications strictly require 6 months of pay slips, while others say that a combination of salary and savings can be used. Will 3 to 4 pay slips, probably 3 to 4 months, plus his current savings be sufficient? Or do we need to wait until he has at least 6 months of pay slips before applying? Thank you in advance for any guidance. Great question. Because again, this is something that confuses a lot of people. Now, let me start by saying there are different categories of income that you need to be able to, that you can show the Home Office. So it could be salaried employment, which is the most straightforward. It could be self-employment. It could be income from, say, rental. It could be income from pensions. It could also be savings. In this case, sabi nga niya 88,500. Now, the reason for that is if you do not have any income at all, so zero, but you have savings that you've had for a certain amount of time of 88,500 because of the change in rules, it's now 88,500, then you would potentially satisfy the income requirement. So if you have no income, you can rely on 88,500 pounds is what you need to be able to show. Now, you can also, and sometimes people don't realize it, say you're both living in the Philippines now, gusto mong papasok nga dito, he was working in the Philippines, or then you're looking to come to the UK. You can actually, if you were working in the Philippines, you're coming to the UK, potentially rely on income from abroad, okay? But that's not what you're saying here. Question mo nga is, okay, that he was traveling, hopefully having a good time rather than working too hard nga. So you can't rely, I'm assuming he can't rely on income from abroad, okay? If so, you can, let me start by saying you can add income and savings together. But in this case, that doesn't help. That doesn't really work, because to do so, if it's paid employment, which I assume again is the case, you must have been in that paid employment at least 6 months. So kung nandiyan nga lang siya 3 to 4 months nga ngayon, then that means that you can't use the income even though he has bags of savings. So sabihin natin he has savings of 80,000 pounds, but his income, because he's only been in the UK back nga earning 3 months or 4 months nga, you can't add the 60,000 pounds to the 80,000 pounds. So in your case, I would say actually if it's paid employment nga, you need to be able to show 6 months employment. I'm assuming it's this category A, salaried employment nga, which means waiting 3 to 4 months, despite the fact that you have 80, slightly shy of 88,500 pounds. For those of you who are watching who are saying, well, actually, no, we're nowhere near the 60,000 pounds, or indeed 29,000 pounds, which is the minimum income requirement. Let's look at that also. Okay. Sabihin natin meron kayong savings, and savings is more than 16,000 pounds, and you have paid employment in the UK at least 6 months, but it falls short of 29,000 pounds, which is the minimum income requirement. This is how you would calculate, okay? So to calculate the required cash savings, which must be more than 16,000 pounds for a UK spouse visa, you subtract the annual income from the 29,000 pounds minimum income threshold, okay? And then you multiply the result by 2.5, and then you add 16,000 pounds. Confused? I'm not blaming you. I don't blame you. So let's apply it. So as I've said, your savings must be over 16,000 pounds held for at least 6 months nga. Now, ito. Sabihin natin yung income of 15,000. So the way you calculate it is this. You subtract the 15,000 from the 29,000 pounds minimum income requirement. That gives you 14,000 pounds, okay? 29 minus 15, 14,000 pounds. You multiply the 14,000 pounds by 2.5. 2.5 being the 2.5 years that you're asking the Home Office for a visa. Now give you then 35,000 pounds, okay? You add to that 16,000 pounds, and then that gives you 51,000 pounds. So that means that if your income is 15,000 pounds gross of tax, and you need then an additional 51,000 pounds savings to satisfy the minimum income requirement. Okay, it's when you if you're watching me now, no, and that's confusing. Go back, and I hope, and I'm sure it will make sense now, because it's actually, you know, the formula is not, it's that's the formula, no. Now, I think that may be it, yung mga questions natin. In which case, I know I've gone over the time, but sisingit ko if we have any greeters, no? Because people very, very kindly, you know, watch and say hello. And, you know, that's my favorite part of our show. Tingnan nga natin if there are greeters. Of course, May Tigbaw Vargas. Hello and good evening, sabi niya, no, Attorney Lira. And everyone, happy Thursday. God bless. God bless, May. Gosh, kamusta ka? I like this picture. Is that a butterfly? It looks like a butterfly, no? I hope you're well. I hope you're inside. No? Oh, David Calixto the second, no? Happy anniversary po. Tignan mo, he definitely is watching. Happy anniversary po, and good evening. 3 decades, wow. Sir, over 3 decades. Actually, if you add the studies, which in itself was 4 years, plus the training, which amounted to 2 years, I am 4 decades from next week. Gosh, I feel so old. A guy, the great guy from London, sabi niya, cold and rainy Thursday to Attorney Lira, and to the viewers, take care when going out. Kayo nga din, no? Huwag kayong madulas. I work from home today because of Justin's term break. Oh yeah, it's half term next week, no? Or is it this week na? Good news, Attorney Lira, sabi niya, I'm Ambassador Tap Send, a remittance app if sending money to Pinas, no? Use Egay the Guy as bonus code. Now, looking forward to lots of learning again into Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egay the great guy. Yeah, well, there you go, no? Check it out. I hope Justin has a good time, no? Because it's half term is can be difficult for parents, no? Marilyn Jones, a rainy Thursday evening to Attorney Lira and all viewers. Tama ka, no? An evening of lots to learn from our lovely solicitor. Happy 34th anniversary to 4 years. 34 years. God bless, madam. I hope you're well, no? Kamusta po sa lahat ng pamilya? I hope they're also well. Miss Jones, I tell you what, I will always, the one thing I always remember about Miss Jones is she's a great dancer. Don't ask me how I know that, but she is. Iris Legislador, good evening, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. Good evening, madam. How are you? I hope you're inside, no? And not outside where it's raining. I think it's still raining. No, umuulan pa ba? I think it is, no? I hope kumain ka na din, no? I know. I mean, I know I'm going overtime, but anyway. It's I always enjoy the batian nga, no? Miss Rubio, we love Miss Rubio. Leonora Obaldo Rubio. I mean, happy anniversary. Yeah, so she's lovely, and to you too, madam. Okay, it's I'm not going to say any more than that. I got the note, no. Miss Rubio and I have known each other decades, no, diba? Decades. Miss Rafael, we love Miss Rafael, and she's feeling good because she's all in caps. Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, sabi niyan, happy cold and rainy Thursday to everyone. Happy anniversary po, Attorney Lira. Salamat, madam. Miss Rafael hails from the iconic place called Wimbledon. For those of you who are not familiar with London, no? Wimbledon, of course, is where we have tennis. Miss Gilling, we love Miss Gilling. Hello po, good evening, ma'am. Happy Thursday po, and to all viewers. Miss Gilling is, I must say, she is one of the hardest working people I know, Miss Gilling. At ang pamilya niya, buong pamilya, they are a credit truly to the UK. No, it's but Miss Gilling too, I've known for decades, no? Di ba, madam? Decades. Gosh. That's what happens when you've been in practice for as long as I have. You do get to know people for decades. Ron Elisa Raspe, good evening po sa ating lahat. God bless, madam. I hope that you are well. No? I'm sure you are, and I'm sure that the family is okay. I'm sure they are. No? They're also very hardworking as a family. No? But yeah, it's strange. I've also known you guys for gosh, also decades, no? Wow. Mariam Galicia Paner. Hello po, Tony Samya. Magandang gabi po sa lahat. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Madam. Miss Paner and I, different anniversary. I'm sure you were one of the first people nga when I started broadcasting that took part, no? So that was at the beginning of COVID, no? Which someone reminded me is like 6 years ago now. 6 years ago. Astonishing. It's a time. It's a nung bata pa ako, I couldn't wait for things to move. Ngayon, it's time's moving too quickly. Miss Nadella, Risa Nadella. Hello, Tony Samya. Hello, Madam. Another. It's this what I love about our show nga, no? People who I have. Who I've known for a long time, very kindly give up their time on a Thursday late evening to watch and to say hello. Salamat, Madam. Now, thank you very, very much. Now, I look forward truly to seeing you next week when I will be able to say to you that I'm 34 years post-qualification experience in the UK as a solicitor. And then on top of that, 6 years, as I say, 6 years studies and training, which essentially means from next week, I will have been in law, 34 years qualified, 40 years in law, 4 decades. I hope you can join me, kind of celebrate. Not sure whether, no, it is a celebration because to have longevity in a career path that you love is truly a blessing. No, so I sometimes I kid around. It's that I kid around being as old as me, being qualified so long, but truly it is a blessing. So I hope you can tune in next week, when I can boast, that I'm then 40 years in law. 34 years post-qualification. So tune in next week, and we'll have a great topic again, of course, next week. Now, putting your questions, and I'll see if we can choose now a star question for next week. I hope this was of help to you. But as I say, sharing is caring, and certainly share this one, yung show nga natin ngayon. Just leaves me really to say thank you again po for keeping me company, for the Facebook groups who are allowing us to post our contents on their pages. And I hope that you'll be able to join me again for next week for our usual Thursday get-together from 7:30 onwards at LIRA in Law. So see you next week, same time, same place. Good night.